Hello, welcome or welcome back to my channel and welcome to another reading vlog where I'm gonna be letting a random number generator choose the books that I read. And so usually when I do these videos, I do my intro and then while I'm filming my intro is when I choose the books. But I remember that there was like a random night where I had this urge to choose the books and I didn't want to actually be filming myself. So I just filmed that like on my laptop. And so I just have that footage of the random number generator actually choosing the books for me. So I guess I'll just do a voiceover of it. So yeah, it's gonna be just slightly different than my usual. So yeah, I'm gonna be showing you the books that were chosen now. All right, so here we are choosing our books, and it seems that I had 208 books in my to read shelf of Goodreads, which is a lot of books. I know it has been better, it has been worse, and it seems that the first number that we got was 25, which is like pretty down there, which is the goal here. Like the goal is always to get me to read books that are just like buried in my TBR and I don't remember about. And apparently, book one is Crier's War, apparently, as if I hadn't read these books by now and don't know which ones they are. And I'm sure at this point I was complaining because I don't want to be starting new series, and this is the first book in a series, clearly, so that was surely a problem for me. And now we have number 111, which is like half-ish way through my TBR, and we have Divinity 36, which again seems to be the first book in a series, which I'm sure I was complaining even more about in my head while I was choosing these books, because that is yet another series for me to start. And then we have number 27, which is very down there again and very close to the first number that we got. And the book that we got is An Ember in the Ashes, which is once again another start of another series. So I chose to spin again and try to get a book that was not the first one in a series, and we got number 67. And turns out to be The Cursed Among Us, which I was like, oh my god, that is not the start of a series. Spoiler alert, actually it is. So Crier's War is the first book in a fantasy duology, which is what I was checking here, which is not too bad. It's just two books. And then eventually we'll move on to Divinity 36, and that is the first book in a sci-fi series, which I think is a trilogy. Yeah, trilogy. Again, not too bad. Duology would be better. And here is when I saw that this is actually also the start of a new series, which, again, not ideal, but I decided to actually go with this one instead of what I had gotten before, because at least this is like a different genre. So we don't have two fantasies. We have a fantasy, a sci-fi, and a horror book. And so I think I said that I was gonna like spin again and try to get a book that was not the start of a series, but I probably did get the start of another series because I did go with those three books. So we got 32, which is, let's see, we are getting there. Yeah, the start of another, I think, fantasy series. So yeah, I decided to go with these because they are the start of series, but they are different genres. And yeah, these are the books. Okay, so those are the books that the random number generator chose for me. And this is spoiler free. I just give like the synopsis of the books and obviously my thoughts and feelings about them, but I don't go in any like specifics or spoilers. And so having said that, let's get into the video. Okay, so I am halfway through Crier's War, and like this book has been on my TBR for so many years, and I honestly I should have read it sooner because I am really enjoying it. And so this is the first book in the Crier's War duology, which is fantasy. And so in this world there are humans, and then there are, I'm not entirely sure actually how to say it, autome, maybe, which were like made
by humans, like they were created by humans, but they're not humans, but they look human like, but they're not human, they're like made. And so they're the Autome and the humans, and many years ago the humans created the Autome, but then the Autome like took over. There was a war, and now the Autome are like in charge of, you know, everything, and the humans are basically serving the Autome. And there is a group of humans that is like working on a rebellion, and one of the humans that is part of the rebellion and is like one of the main characters of this book is Ayla. And Ayla's family was killed by the, I don't remember his title. It's not governor. It's something else. Sovereign. I think it's sovereign. Her family was killed by the sovereign. And so she wants not only like the revolution to liberate her people, but also revenge on the sovereign, like specifically. And so she wants to kill his daughter. And his daughter is called Crier. And so we follow both Ayla and Crier. And Crier, you know, being the sovereign's daughter, she was creative, like following what he wanted, like the blueprints that he made. And so she was, you know, made to be perfect. And she is actually like getting engaged to some guy. And then she starts realizing that things are not exactly as she thought. Like the way that her father treats people is not really what she thought. And also her fiance is really not the person that she thought he was when they first met. Not that like it was a love kind of engagement, it was like a business kind of engagement, but still she thought that like she could have an ally when she met him, and she is realizing that, you know, definitely not. And like I said, Ayla wants to kill Crier to get revenge on her father, but then when they actually, you know, really meet, she starts realizing that like maybe Crier isn't like as terrible as all the other Autome, but like she still wants her revenge, like she still wants to go forward with her plan. And yeah, Crier is also realizing all of these things about the Autome, and I'm really liking it. I'm really liking to learn about the world, and also like all that Crier is learning, both about like the world and also like the Autome, but also like specifically about herself, is really interesting. And I really like, honestly, like all the characters. Obviously there are the ones that I hate, like Crier's father and fiance and some other Autome, but like the ones that we're supposed to like, I really like them. And this is like the biggest plot twist to ever plot twist. I'm actually, I think, liking the romance, which is crazy. And like this is a very slow burn, and this is like the beginning of the slow burn. So like it's, you know, very much at the beginning, but I think I like it, which is again crazy. But yeah, I'm having a good time. I'm really enjoying it. I'm very curious to see where it goes, but also nervous to see where it goes, because there are a lot of things that could go wrong, and there are a few that already have gone wrong. So yeah, I'm worried, but I am very, very invested. And yeah, so far it's going really well, and I'm going to finish it and I'll be back. Okay, so I finished Crier's War and I really liked it. I definitely continue to like to learn about the world and about the Autome, and I liked also how like Crier herself was learning about the world and about the Autome, even though like she's one herself, like learning more about the designs and also like about herself specifically. And there was something that we thought we knew about her, but actually turned out that there was like a whole reveal at the end, which was really interesting. And I also really like to see this progression of the like tension between the humans and the Autome, and like the people who are willing to fight for each side, because it's not just like humans and against Autome, like some are a little mixed, and I really like to see that. And yeah, like crazily, I actually kind of like the romance. It's like very slow burns, like nothing really happened, but like I kind of liked it, which is crazy, but a pleasant surprise for sure. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, but I think I'm gonna like the second book even more, because that's when things are gonna really like all come together and explode, I think. And like this revolution, this war, I guess, between the humans and the Autome, like, is really gonna happen in book 2 probably. And yeah, I really like the world, I really like the characters, I really like all that we learned, and I am very excited to see where it goes in the second book. And I think I'm gonna give it probably 4 stars. And yeah, that is our first book for this video, and it was a great start. And next I'm gonna read Divinity 36, I think, which is a sci-fi book, and so I'm gonna read half of that and I will be back. I am half-ish, I think just over halfway through Divinity 36, and this is the first book in a series that I currently don't remember the name of. I think it's, I actually don't know, I need to check. Tinkered Star Song, which is, I guess, sci-fi-ish? Fantasy? Actually, I don't know. What is it? I promise I'm reading the book, but it looks like sci-fi, but the story, like, it has some sort of like magic, so it's sci-fi because it is like in other planets and there are aliens and stuff, but at the same time feels like fantasy, so maybe it's both. On Goodreads it does say science fiction first and then fantasy, so that would make sense. And so we are following our main character called Fex, and he is a human. I mean, they just call it Sapiens, but I'm assuming that's a human. And he's actually a refugee, like, in another planet. And he works at a cafe, and one day an alien, I think they're their species is called Diacy or something like that. The alien gets there and they talk to Fex, like they hear him sing, and they kind of like recruit him to possibly become a god, because like the gods, like their power is connected to song. And so that alien wants to take Fex to become a god, possibly. And Fex, like, he doesn't really have anything really that he's attached to, like where he lives, so he goes with that alien, and we see him like meet other, you know, possible future gods, and we see their training and like their trials. And like now towards the part where I stopped, something happens, and I think that he's gonna like change dynamics a bit, like in their group, because he's like with the group of other future possible gods. And like I'm enjoying it. I'm not like obsessed with it. Like I like Fex and I like his dynamic, like the group that he's in. Like I've liked to meet all of those characters and I like to see them together, like see them interact. It's very interesting, and the world is also interesting, and I'm liking to learn about that and to learn about the gods, like the different powers that are like possible through song. And like I'm enjoying it, but I'm not like, you know, very gripped by the story. It's just okay, which is fine. I'm definitely not disliking it. Like I am enjoying it. I'm just not, you know, absolutely loving it. But yeah, I'm intrigued to see like how this thing that happened halfway through is going to change things and where the story is gonna go. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. Overall, I'm having a good time. I am enjoying it. And so I'm going to finish it and I will be back. Okay, so I have finished Divinity 36 and I liked it. I definitely liked it. I didn't love it though. And we did get like more of a plot in the second half. Like, I think I said that things were like seeming to change, and these sort of did change, but I still feel like it was mostly like character focused, because we were just seeing all these characters interact. And I did like their interactions. Like, I really liked Fex. I really liked to get to know him, and I also did really like to see him interact with the other characters. Like, their dynamic as a group was very interesting, but I wanted like a stronger plot. And at the end, like, the end was definitely crazier. Like, things happened more at the end, and so I do believe that the next books will be more like plot heavy. The plot will be like moving faster, I think. Like, I don't know, but by the way that things ended, because like at the end was when things got a little more explosive, so I do think that. And I still enjoyed it. I had a good time. I really like the characters, and the world is very interesting, and the way that the magic works, like with the song, like the powers of the gods, I really like to learn about all that. I just wish there had been like a stronger plot pulling it along, but I enjoyed it. I think I'm giving it like 3.5 stars, which is good. I obviously had a good time with it, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm gonna continue the series, because like I said, it feels like it's gonna get more plot heavy, which is something that I enjoy. But I have so many books that I want to read that I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I think that I probably will continue the series, just like not anytime soon, because I have so many books that I want to read like in the next few weeks slash months, that I don't think I will get to it anytime soon, but I probably will continue the series at some point. But yeah, I think it is 3.5 stars. And we are now gonna go into our last book for this video, which I don't remember the title of. Let me see. My laptop is right here. I know that it is horror, The Cursed Among Us. So yeah, I'm gonna get into that, and I will update you once I'm halfway through. I am halfway through The Cursed Among Us, and we first have a prologue where we basically see a guy that was convicted of being a serial killer, like basically taking his final victim, and we see him like saying that someone or something had like been talking to him and like telling him to kill. And then we get to the like main story, to the present, where we are following a group of, I think, 4 boys, 15-year-old boys, and they are like in the woods filming something, like making their own little movie, and they find something. And after they find what seems to be a grave, one of them also starts being sort of like haunted and possessed by something, and by something or someone that is also making him like commit violent acts and like hurt people. And so there is one of the boys that is being affected by this entity, while the others are not, but they are obviously very connected to this whole thing, because you know they were there and it's their friend who's causing all this. And there are some other people getting involved as well, and I'm really enjoying it. It's nothing like crazy, but I am liking it. I'm finding it like creepy, and I'm enjoying the characters, which for them being 15-year-old boys, that is a shock. And yeah, I'm having a good time. It's, like I said, nothing crazy. Like, it's not something that is extremely different from like other horror books that I've read before, but it's fun. I'm having fun. I'm having a good time. I'm curious to see like if we're gonna know the origin of this person, this being that is sort of haunting this kid and like why they're doing this. And yeah, there have been some creepy scenes, some gory scenes as well. And also, like, while we are following the boys in the present, we're also learning more about those crimes like in the past, and if like what people think happened is actually what happened or not. And yeah, I'm having a good time, so I'm going to finish it, and I will be back with my thoughts on this book and also my final ratings for all three books, and just to wrap up this video.
Alright, so I have finished The Cursed Among Us, which is the last book for this video, and I really liked it. I had a really good time, and like I think I mentioned on my first update, it wasn't like anything crazy, it wasn't anything like life-changing, it wasn't anything like that was completely different from other horror books that I've read before, but it was a good time, and I guess it's like there's a reason why this sort of story works for me, because it definitely worked as well. And yeah, I definitely enjoyed it. There were some creepy moments, there were some scary moments, and I actually did care about the characters. I connected to them, so like I was worried when they were in danger. And in this second half, we got to learn more about the, like I was saying, that I wanted to learn about like the origin of this evil entity, this evil being. And I really like to learn that. I really like to see how it all was created and like how other people were connected to it, because we learned about a lot more like about the town and like the people from the town, and how like they like some of them were also connected to this whole thing that happened, and how like the real explanations about like those murders from the past. I really like to learn about all of that, and I had totally forgotten that this was a part of the series. Like when I started reading this book, obviously when I chose the books on the random number generator, like when I went on Goodreads to see it, obviously it told me that it was part of the series, and I'm sure at the time I realized that, but and I probably did complain about that, because in the beginning I'm sure I was like getting all of these books that were starts of series, which is not what I wanted. So I am certain that I complained about it, but then like it went so long before I read that book because of my reading slump, so I did not remember that at all. But since it is part of the series and I enjoyed it, I probably will continue with the series, because I like the characters, I like the town, I like the whole scary parts as well. So yeah, I had a good time, and I'm giving it 4 stars. And so to wrap up this video and my final ratings for all of the books that I read, so Crier's War I gave 4 stars, Divinity 36 I gave 3.5 stars, and The Curse Among Us I gave 4 stars. So I would say this was definitely a success. Yes, I did start 3 new series, and yes, I will probably continue all of them. I think I will also continue the series of Divinity 36. So yeah, 3 more series, but at least one of them is a duology, and I think the other 2 are trilogies, so like nothing crazy. And then I guess I can continue this series on my other video series, where I like, you know, read books that are part of series that I'm reading. So I guess that works out as well. And yeah, I had a good time. It was definitely a success, because not only did I enjoy the books, I also did get to read these books that were just buried in my TBR and I did not even remember about them. So yeah, a massive success in all fronts. And yeah, that is everything for this video. So thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you have enjoyed it. And if you did, give it a like and subscribe. And I will talk to you next time. Bye!